Hello students, this video lecture is on the subject Information Theory and Coding, and in this class we are going to see about the Hamming bound, that is the equation related to Hamming bound, and we'll see how this Hamming bound can be used for constructing a perfect code for a n, k linear block code, and we'll see what do you mean by this table lookup decoding using standard array, that is how to construct a array table for a given parity matrix, and we'll see how to correct it using the same table for a given n, k or given parity matrix. Hamming bound for a n, k linear block code, there are 2 to the power of n minus k syndromes which include all zeros as the syndrome. Each syndrome will correspond to a specific error pattern. If I is the number of error location in an n-dimensional error pattern E, we generally find that there are NCI multiple error patterns. Total number of all possible error patterns is therefore given by the equation summation I is equal to 0 to t NCI, where t is the maximum number of error locations in the error I. Therefore, we can conclude for a n, k linear block code, if it is capable of correcting up to t errors, then the total number of syndromes shall not be less than the total number of all possible error pattern, which is given by 2 to the power of n minus k should always be greater than or equal to I is equal to 0 to t NCI. The above equation, that is this particular equation, is called as a Hamming bound, a binary code for which the Hamming bound turns to be equality will be called as a perfect code. We'll see a problem related to Hamming bound. So the question is, determine whether the following codes are perfect or not. So first question is 15, 11 t equal to 1. Second question is 6, 3 t equal to 1. So first question is 15, 11 and t equal to 1. So here n is given as 15 and k is given as 11. So Hamming bound equation is nothing but 2 to the power of n minus k should always be greater than or equal to summation I is equal to 0 to t NCI. So we'll take the left hand side of the equation, which is given by 2 to the power of n minus k, which is equal to 2 to the power of 15 minus 11, which gives 2 to the power of 4, which will be equal to 16. Next we'll see the right hand side of the equation. So right hand side of the equation is summation I is equal to 0 to t and t is equal to 1. Then n is given as 15. So 15ci. So we'll just substitute the value. We are going to get 15c 0 plus 15c 1. So we know that what is NCR given by NCR, that is combinational value formula is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial divide into r factorial. So this is the formula to find the combinations of this particular equation given here. So 15c0 we are going to get it as 1 and 15c1 we are going to get it as 15. So 1 plus 15 will be equal to 16. So if you see here, left hand side of the equation is equated to the right hand side of the equation. So therefore we can write this value 15, 11 with t equal to 1 is a perfect code. So first question is verified. Next we'll see the second question. Now the second question, that is question number B, is given as 6, 3 and t is equal to 1. Therefore n is equal to 6 and k is equal to 3. And we know the Hamming bound equation 2 to the power of n minus k should always be greater than or equal to summation I is equal to 0 to t n c I. So we'll take the left hand side of the equation, which is equal to 2 to the power of n minus k equal to 2 to the power of 6 minus 3, which is equal to 2 to the power of 3, and we are going to get it as 8. Next we'll see the right hand side of the equation, which is given by the formula summation I is equal to 0 to t and t is equal to 1 and n is equal to 6. So 6ci. So we'll substitute the value of I. So 6c0 plus 6c1. So we know that NCR formula, combinational formula, is nothing but n factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial. Here we will see for 6c1. So for 6c1 it is nothing but 6 factorial divided by 6 minus 1 factorial into 1 factorial. So 6 factorial is nothing but 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and 6 minus 1 is nothing but 5. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and 1 factorial is 1. So finally all these terms gets cancelled out. We are going to get 6c1 as 6. Similarly we can do it for 6c0. For 6c0 we are going to get it as 1 plus 6c1 is nothing but 6. So it is equal to 7. Now if you see, the left hand side of the equation is not equal to the right hand side of the equation, because 8 cannot be equal to 7. So this particular value of n comma k with value 6 comma 3 is not a perfect code. So this example, the second question, is not a perfect code. Table lookup decoding using standard array. First step, 2 to the power of k valid code vectors of the codes are placed in a row with all 0 code vectors as the first element. Step 2, the remaining 2 to the power of n minus 2 to the power of k n tuples E2 is chosen and placed below all 0 code vectors. The second row can be formed by placing E2 plus Ei where I is equal to 2, 3, 4 up till 2 to the power of k under the Ci. Step 3, unused n tuple E3 is taken and third row is completed as given in step 2. Step 4, the process is continued till all the n tuples are used. The resulting array for n, k linear block code will be as given below. So here this table we have first row with all possible code vectors as given below. So the first row will be all possible code vectors. Next we are defining some error E2 and filling the second row with this first valid code vector C2 XOR this particular error E2 and complete the second row. Third row, again we are going to define the error E3 and we are going to XOR it with the C2 valid code vector, that is C2 plus E3, and continue the third row. Similarly, this process continues till all the possible code vector or all possible code vectors are filled in the table. Next, we'll see a problem on how to write the standard array table for the given problem. So the given problem is construct a standard array for 6, 3 linear block code with parity matrix given as P is equal to 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. And we know that all possible code vector is given by the equation C is equal to D into G. So if you find all possible code vector here, we are going to get 2 to the power of k, which is equal to 2 to the power of 3, that is 8 possible code vectors, and this all possible code vectors will be of the form 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, and so on. So we are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 possible code vectors. Next we'll see how to write the table for this as per the steps mentioned earlier. So now we'll start filling this standard array table. So first thing is coset leader or all possible code vectors will be filled along this particular row with all 0 as the syndrome. So 0, 0, 0 will be the first syndrome and the next element will be all possible code vectors. So we have got first valid vector as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. The next possible code vector was 0, 0. 1 1 1 0. The next one is 0 1 0 0 1 1. The next one is 0 1 1 1 0 1. Next the fourth one is 1 0 0 1 0 1. The next one is 1 0 1 0 1 1. The next possible code vector is 1 1 0 1 1 0. The next one is 1 1 1 0 0 0. Next we are going to write the next error as we'll assume that there is an error in first bit. So 1 0 0 0 0 0. So this is nothing but your error E2. So now what we are supposed to do is this will be your C2 vector. So C2 XOR this particular value E2 and we are completing the second row. That is we are going to do the XOR operation of the first bit. So 0 plus this one will be equal to 1 and the remaining bit is going to remain the same. Similarly here when I do the XOR operation we'll get it as 1 first MSB and the remaining bit will be as it is. Similarly this particular bit is XORed with this E2. So we are going to get it as 1 1 1 1 0 1. Similarly 1 XOR 1 will be 0 0 0 1 0 1. Then 1 XOR 1 will be equal to 0 0 1 0 1 1. 1 XOR 1 will be 0 1 0 1 1 0. Similarly 1 XOR 1 will be 0 1 1 0 0 0. So this will be the error. Now to write the syndrome what we take is we'll take the H matrix first element, that is parity matrix P. So it is equal to 1 0 1 here. So next we'll write the error E3 and we'll assume that there is an error in second bit. So we'll write the error pattern E3 as 0 1 0 0 0 0 and we'll XOR this with the respective C2 value here, then C3 value. That is we are going to XOR the second bit. So now when we are going to XOR it, so 0 and the second bit is 0 plus 1. So we are going to get it as 1 1 1 1 0. Similarly we are going to XOR this with the second bit. So if we XOR 1 XOR 1 we are going to get it as 0 then 0 0 1 1. Similarly this second bit XOR we are going to get it as 0 0 1 1 0 1. Then the next one will be 1 1 0 1 0 1. The next one we are going to XOR this second bit. So 1 1 1 0 1 1. Then XOR it with the second bit. So we are going to get it as 1 0 0 1 1 0. Then the next bit will be 1 and we are going to XOR it with the second bit. So 1 XOR 1 will be 0 1 0 0 0 and for this we are going to write the next bit of your parity matrix which is given as 0 1 1. Similarly we write E4 which will be the third bit. So 0 0 1 0 0 0 and we'll continue filling this table with the next parity bit as your 1 1 0. Similarly the next error pattern will be 0 0 0 1 0 0. Next it will be 0 0 0 0 1 0. The next will be 0 0 0 0 0 1 and the last one will be 1 0 0 0 and 1 0. And here we know this is identity matrix. So 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 and this will be 1 1 1. So this particular three elements in your syndrome is nothing but your parity matrix, and this is nothing but your identity matrix, and we are going to do the XOR operation and complete this table. That is, we are going to write the next bit as third bit XOR with this particular bit of your C2. So we can write it as 0 0. 1 XOR 1 will be equal to 0. 1 1 0. That is XOR with the third bit of your first row element, not with the second row but with the first row of your element, and complete the table. So now after completing all the vectors, or after filling all the values, you are going to get a matrix like this. Okay, so this is nothing but here if you see, the first row is all possible code vector. Okay, this particular row is all possible vectors, okay, with 0 0 0 as the syndrome. So when we do, usually S is equal to R into H transpose for detection of error. So if you get it as 0 0 0, it means that it is a valid code vector. So all these first row elements are the valid code vectors. Then this is nothing but your parity matrix. The next three elements will be your identity matrix. So basically this is nothing but your H transpose matrix. Okay, so this, all these elements P with identity matrix is nothing but your H transpose matrix, and we are going to write all the vectors of 2 to the power of k. Okay, all the possible vectors of 2 to the power of k tuples. So we are going to get 8 all vectors with 0 0 as the valid code vector, and 1 1 1 will be something else which we can tell that it is a 2-bit error. Now we'll see how to detect the errors for a given problem. Next we'll see how to use the standard array table to detect and correct the error. Let us assume that the received vector R is 1 0 0 1 0 0, and we know that we are going to find an error using the formula S is equal to R into H transpose. So R received vector is 1 0 0 1 0 0, and the H transpose matrix is 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. That is nothing but your parity matrix concatenated with your identity matrix. So after doing row column multiplication, this R with the first column, we are going to get it as 0. The first row R, that is this R received vector with the second column, we are going to get it as 0. Similarly, this received vector into the third column, we are going to get it as 1. So usually what we do is we see where is this present in H transpose matrix. So it is present in sixth row, and we correct it as that is sixth element of the received vector. We are going to correct the error. So corrected vector will be equal to 1 will be as it is first bit, second bit, third bit, fourth bit, fifth bit, and sixth bit is received as 0, and we are going to correct it as 1. So this is the normal steps we do for doing the mathematical calculation. Now we'll see how to do it using the standard array table. So this first row is nothing but all possible code vector or all possible vectors, and this particular 6 rows are nothing but the H transpose element, and this is nothing but in order to fill all your 2 to the power of k possible vectors. And if you see, this will be the first column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column, sixth column, seventh column, eighth column, and ninth column. Now when we are doing this S is equal to R into H transpose, we got it as sixth row. So in the table what we do is we go along this particular 0 0 1 row, and we see where is that particular received vector. Okay, so is it present here first second column? No. Second third column? No. Fourth column? No. Fifth column? No. Sixth column is the received vector. So it is present in sixth column. Sixth column is your received vector, and we see that this is an error received vector. So how to correct the error is we go along this particular column itself on the top till the first row, that is all possible code vector. Okay, and we see that we are going to get it as 1 0 0 1 0 1. So this will be the corrected vector. Okay, so in order to detect and correct the error, first using the table what we do is we find S is equal to R into H transpose. We'll get some error matrix, that is syndrome S, and we go along that particular row. Okay, and we see for that particular received vector and move along the top first row of the given table, and we correct that error, or we see that this is the valid vector, whereas this particular received vector is an error vector. And we use the standard error table for detecting all the possible code vector, not only a single error. We find all the errors and we correct the errors.